is time for us to hear lives changed. I met the Francis brothers in Charlotte, North Carolina, at an ASEA event, and I bumped into Mark, and I asked him, hey, do you have an ASEA story? And like most people, he said, absolutely. And he told me a story and it absolutely floored me. And then I discovered that there were others that also had stories. There were 5 brothers that were all learning about ASEA and sharing ASEA and experiencing ASEA. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to go through and have a listen to their stories. I'm going to start, we don't have Scott on here. Scott was actually the first person that experienced this technology. He had pockets of inflammation in his gut and that was causing incredible discomfort. And after a period of time, he really began to notice improvements with that. And so with those improvements, he contacted Mark. And Mark, could you share us a little bit about your backstory about what you noticed with ASEA, or sorry, where you were when ASEA kind of crossed your path? What had happened to you 14 years earlier? And then we'll pick up the story from there.
I had a stroke, and I was walking with the cane, and I was dizzy all the time, and I was salivating constantly, and I was muscular pain on my left, because that's where it affected me. It was on my left. I had to learn how to use my limbs and everything again. But I was in such bad shape, and Scott called me and told me about it. He came by, and he said he gave me, I think it was 3 shots of water, and I took 3 applications of the gel. And within 5 minutes, I haven't used a cane since. I gave all my canes away. I wasn't able to do anything. I wasn't able to make the bed. I wasn't able to do much. I was in constant pain. And but since then, now I make supper for my wife, who I've been married for almost 40 years, and I'm able to do that, and I'm able to do simple things like make the bed and just that stuff like that. And I'm actually getting back into gardening again, and I'm doing great. I feel like I'm blessed every second of every day.
So for 14 years, Mark, you delivered this pretty fast and pretty matter of fact, but I don't want anybody to miss how profound this story is. Because it's one of the most profound stories. I've heard some pretty amazing stories in the last 14 years. For 14 years, recovering from your challenge, you have been walking with a cane, also, I believe, a wheelchair at times.
Yes,
you had a collection of 17 canes.
That's correct.
If you weren't using your cane, you'd be bouncing off the walls. There would be a lot of instability there.
Yes, when I walked down the hallway, I'd go from left to right, bouncing off the wall with my hand, holding on because it was so strong.
And
the dizziness.
That was 14 years of your life, not making the bed, not able to read as well was another thing you were having challenges with.
I barely got out of bed. I really did. I barely got out of bed. I wasn't productive at all.
So your brother Scott, who I'm sorry can't be with us here today, but your brother Scott came along and said, hey, I got something you deserve to know about. And did he give you the drink or the gel first?
He gave me 3 shots of the drink, and then I did 3 applications of the gel.
You gave, okay. And then literally within a very short period of time, minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah. Well, I was sitting, I can't drive, so I have a golf cart. I was sitting on my golf cart, and I said, hold on, Scott, I feel something right away. I said, I can see better. My clarity, I can see. It's not like I'm dizzy. It's like I can go in and out with the dizziness. And then I said, oh my goodness. And then I where I live on my driveway, there's a little bit of a steep. I said, I think I can go up I'll go up there. And I went all the way to the top and came back, and Scott's mouth dropped. And it's amazing. I really feel like I got my life back again. I really do.
And how long ago was that you had your first ASEA experience?
That was the summer of 21. I believe it was July or August of 21. Okay. Scott.
So over 18 months ago, and you've been improving ever since. You know, you said some beautiful things that when your wife came home, you did a twirl. You twirled around 3 times.
I did.
Like something out of The Sound of Music, you know?
Yeah, I did. Her mouth dropped.
Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, her mouth dropped.
Now you're making dinner. Also, your peripheral vision has improved. Ability to read. I think you were telling me, you know, reading at restaurants, people would have to read the menu to you.
Yes, that was so fun. The first time it happened, I was down visiting my grandkids, and for the first time, I was able to actually read the menu. I tried to look at it and try to read it, but I could never do it. My sweetie would have to tell me, you know, what they had. But everybody was there. I think there was like 10 of us, and everybody looked over at me like, "What are you doing reading?" And that was my first time. It was way cool, and I'm just getting better from there. It's like now I'm actually doing word puzzles.
Yeah, absolutely.
I couldn't ever do that, really. You know, it never was my thing. But it's like I truly feel like things are connecting back that haven't connected in a long time.
Yeah, absolutely incredible story. And you have, I wrote it down here, you have 2 degrees in ornamental horticulture. You know, so to say that you were back.
I've been
hey, I can hear you, Scott, just if you.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, Scotty.
And so for you to say, oh, you know, I'm back gardening again, it's not normal people's gardening. I mean, this was your life. This was your career with these 2 degrees. I was told that you worked with some very big clients, some very, very wealthy clients. And so for you to be able to get back to your passion, I mean, it would be almost like a world-class concert pianist not being able to play the piano anymore for 14 years and now being able to back to their passion. So and you're cooking for your wife. I mean, it's just a beautiful story. You're also a Marine, you're also an ex-military guy. Thank you for your service. And so making the bed, that's pretty important. That's how you guys start your day.
Yes, sir. That's correct. And I hadn't made the bed since I had my stroke, and now I make it every day, every single day.
I love it. It's a beautiful story. Mark, thank you so much for sharing. I know the progress continues to improve. But after 14 years, I don't know what it is. Something. You drank these molecules, you applied the gel, something switched on. And we often hear that it's like flicking a switch. I do want to say, kind of as a disclaimer, a couple of things. This technology is not a treatment or cure for any disease or medical condition. We are simply giving the body a natural set of molecules that our body already makes, but we're giving them more. And we can improve that signaling. And what our body does with that is up to our body. I'm also going to suggest, as much as I love this story, you know, of a life changed within minutes of experiencing our technology, I do not want to pretend that that is the norm for everybody. We encourage people, give this technology 30, 60, 90 days to really see how your body responds. But what an astonishing story, Mark. And look, you're the picture of health with us here today. So thank you so much for sharing. And that's just one of the brothers. With Scott here. So Scott, you shared the product with Mark. I kind of gave your story a little bit. Could you share just very quickly what you noticed with the technology?
Yes, when I first discovered it, I pulled a muscle back lower than my shoulder from my rib, and it disconnected. And every time I took a breath, it was like a catch. It was like, you know, it was like, and Chuck Tyndall said, do this on your neck, and I did it. And I got to tell you, it was 20 seconds when I knew something was happening. I've said I've never felt anything like that. And I said, can we take it down less than 85%? And he said, yeah. And I put up my finger. I said, hit me up. I did it again, and it was completely gone. And I looked at my wife and I said, I don't know anything that does this. And so in 30 seconds, and the doctor had told me it would be another 2.5 months before that. So I was sold, and I started doing the water and the gel. and my health went from a 4.5 to a 9.5 in 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
And I had holes in my pockets of inflammation in my stomach, and every time I ate, I was getting dizzy and just all kinds of stuff. And took an ambulance ride actually, and then Chuck, within 3.5 weeks, I went from a 4.5 to a 9.5, and I thought that was great. And then I kept on doing it. I didn't tell you this before, but I had severe lower back problems, and I had to rock back and forth in the morning to get up. And I jump out of bed like I'm 35 and I'm 62. And I jump out of bed in the morning like I'm 35, and my wife just looks over and goes, "What?" Like that. And so it's I'm a lifer. Let's just say that.
I love
It is. If someone offered me $1 million to stop taking Redox, I would say keep your money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what good is money without your health? So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's interesting. I sometimes say to people, hey, rank these in order: health, wealth, and family. And sometimes people say, oh, family's most important. And then I say, but what about your family's health? And no matter how you look at it, health
Nice.
comes top. And I think that's very appropriate here. So, what an incredible story for your own stuff, for your benefits, what you received, but also then sharing it with your brother. I mean, how does it make you feel? I mean, I'm getting choked up just thinking about it, but how does it make you feel, the impact that you've had on Mark's life after 14 years of struggle?
Let's just say this. I'll try not to get choked up here, but ASEA gave me my fishing buddy back, and we're going fishing, and he couldn't get in the water, and we're going fishing coming up here in a few weeks. So that's priceless. Priceless. He was my favorite person to fish with, and we went fishing, trout fishing all the time. And it just to look over at him as we're fishing, and I look over at him, we don't say anything, we just look at each other. It's like a little slice of heaven, and I'm going to get that back. That's priceless.
I love it. I love it. Beautiful, beautiful story. Okay, that's two brothers down. Let's go to number 3. Kirk, welcome to the call. Tell us a little bit about your ASEA experience.
Well, to start, you heard Mark's story. And when I was going to see him, and he was near his neighborhood, but he was cleaning up trash like he would just to stay busy. But it was a very congested intersection, and I pulled over and I said, "Mark, what are you doing? You're going to get hit. Please come over here." So he walked over and he said, "No, I'm fine." And I said, "Mark, you're a couple of feet away from traffic going, pretty quick." And he said, "It's okay. I've been taking a Redox, and I've been drinking it. I've been drinking it for the last 6 months, and I feel great." And I said, "Mark, you don't have peripheral vision." I mean, he goes, "No, actually, it's coming back." And I said, "Huh?" And he goes, "I can actually read." And I said, "Hold on." I went to my truck and I grabbed a magazine. I said, "Read this," because I was like, he can't read. He hasn't read in 14 years. And he read a paragraph, and I looked at it and I went, he can read. It just blew my mind. And I said, okay, I got to see what Redox is all about. And I did, and I became a member. And now Renew 28's my best friend, because I do construction, and I'm up and down ladders every day. I do flooring, and I'll be 60 in 2 weeks. And I put that on, and within seconds, the pain is gone. I don't have to use it every day, but I keep it in my truck because, it makes the discomfort go away.
Yeah, knees, wrists, elbows, all those kind of things.
All my joints. I put it on all my joints, and it takes it away. It's unbelievable.
I love it. I love it. Very cool. Thank you so much, Kirk. Appreciate it. Hey, Doug, can we ask you to start your video?
Yes, but I don't know how to reverse the screen.
Oh, okay.
It might be a circle on the bottom right, Doug.
I have nothing. I have 3 dots at the bottom.
So just
only.
flip the phone around and aim it at your face.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
There he is.
Hey, Doug. So, Doug, tell
Just
me.
give me up, down, left, right.
tell me your story. I know it starts with a bleeding finger. Tell me your ASEA story.
Yes. So I live on the North Carolina coast, and my brother Scott was coming to visit, and he said, "Hey, while I'm visiting, I miss doing like the handyman work and building and stuff like that." So as a contractor, I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." So we were working a job building a dock on the water, and I cut my finger accidentally on sliced it on wood on the dock or whatever. So Scott goes, "Hey, I've got something for you," and I'm like, "No, I'm good." And I was literally like dripping a few drops of blood here and there, and he goes, "No, Doug, come here." And he shakes this little bottle and he squirts it on, and he said, "Rub that in." And I swear to God, in probably 20 seconds, bleeding stopped.
Yeah.
And in less than a day and a half later, there was no mark on my hand at all. And I'm like, okay, there's something to this. I don't know what it is, because a lot of people out there say, this does this, this does this. And I'm more of a skeptic than, it worked. So then when all 5 brothers came down to the island to visit, I have a condition that where the joint on my hip on my right side between my back and the joint, my buttocks, I have spasms. So I was having a spasm attack, and my brothers were like, "You might want to try this." This was a second incident. So they rubbed I think it's Renew on my back, and then the Redox pouches. And within 20 minutes, the spasms stopped completely. So.
And that's not normal. Would it normally go on for a lot longer than that?
Oh, Alan, is sometimes for like 2-3 hours. So, and I'm the type, like, I've been like working my entire life. I don't like taking prescriptions, and I had 2 prescriptions for it. One's anti-spasm and one's a pain reliever. I don't want to take them. This I will take. Yeah. There's no prescription. There's no, it's 100% natural. It works. Yeah. It works. That's it.
Now, you also had your daughter had an experience, didn't it, with block deer?
She sure did. So we were having a cookout, and we had a band playing, and my daughter told Scott and Chuck, she said, "My ears are blocked up." And so they were like, "Hang on." So they went and got the spray, sprayed it in both of her ears. She was unblocked in like 3 minutes, maybe 5. So I'm not sure how it works, the technical aspect of it, but it works.
Yeah,
it works. And then I was up visiting Todd in Ohio. So I had a long day. I mean, we worked hard. Todd bought another house with his wife and family, and there was a lot to do. So we had like a 10-hour day, and then we went into the evening having fun and visiting and stuff. And the next morning, I didn't want to get up. I was exhausted. And Todd came in and he said, "Hey, drink this." And I drank it. And like 20 minutes later, I was like, okay, I'm ready to work the day. And I felt rejuvenated and refreshed. And I said, "What is that?" And he had mixed 2 of the 3 powders. It was a mood and an energy. Yeah. No, it was mind and energy.
A mind and an energy combo.
Yes. Yeah. Alan, oh my God. It worked amazing. I had a long day and a long night visiting. And you don't want to stop.
Hey, let's just be straight to the point. It's you were fairly hungover.
Okay. I mean,
let's stop dancing around the issue. You were fairly hungover. So hey, when 5 boys from Boston get together, I know what's going on. So
there might have been some whiskey spilled.
So this is that's the Cell Performance product, Redox Energy and Redox Mind that I mentioned. These are a wonderful combo, and hey, maybe we'll start a new hangover cure here for.
So just to throw an extra 2 cents in, I let my daughter try it, who's a bartender, and she's 24 years old and has a ton of friends. She said, "Hey, Dad, I want to buy those in bulk." Because she's 24 and is a socialite. Yeah. She wants to buy them in bulk.
Oh,
you know somebody, Doug?
Yes.
Young kids love it. They love our Cell Performance products. Okay, really, really cool. Love the stories. One last study, one last story here. One last brother, Todd. Tell us your ASEA experience.
Okay, so when I first heard about it, like I said, we all went down the beach to visit Doug, and really, it had been like the first time that we had been together in about 10 years because everyone was living in a separate city. And so Scott comes up to me and he goes like this. He goes, "Hey," he goes, are you in any pain?" And I go, "I'm really not." And he goes, "You don't have any pain at all?" And I was like, I mean, I got tennis elbow." And he goes like this. He goes, "Where does it hurt?" And I was like, "Right here." And literally, it did hurt pretty well, but all these guys are talking about stroke and all these back spasms. Mine was tennis elbow. Okay, so literally, but I had it for about 8 months. The best part of the story was this. I put some gel on, and in about 10 minutes it disappeared, and it's never been back. Like, I almost had it for like a year, and it permanently fixed my discomfort. And so that's the first thing. And then the other thing was this. So I have blood sugar issues. And so under the supervision of a doctor, he put me on pills that brought it down. Now, I was close to 400, which my doctor said was danger of stroke and heart attack. Okay, so I was pretty nervous about it. So he put me on these pills, and these pills, the side effect was to put me in a mode of cramping all the time, like 24/7. And I really didn't like it. And my doctor actually said, I said, "I don't want to take this anymore." My doctor said 2 out of 3 patients that take the pills for blood sugar cancel because of the side effects. Okay, so then he said, "Well, let's try a shot." So I took a shot. It lowered it temporarily, but every time I would go to eat, I would feel nauseous after taking the shot, and it would be like an extended period of time. And so I said, I actually told my wife, I said, "You know what?" I said, I'm going to try this. Like, we were dabbling at this point, with ASEA. And so I started taking 8-ounce pouches every day. And I've lowered my blood sugar from almost 400 to 104. I was 104 yesterday. So 100 is normal for those that don't know. So super excited about it. It's like, you go around the round robin, and it was like, really what pulled us in, like Scott pulled us all in, but Mark's ability kind of thing kind of drew us all to the beach, and it kind of like brought us together as a family too. So we're all super grateful to ASEA and just happy that we're able to hang out together and do fun things.
I love it. I love it. This has been such a special call. Hopefully our listeners here feel the same way, even after a few little technical challenges of getting everybody together. But I wanted to bring you all together because, look, to have one life impacted with our technology is life-changing for that person. But when you see a family, and I've never had 5 brothers on before, and so to see a family all impacted at different levels, but whatever that level is, it just makes life better. Whether it's Kirk climbing the ladder in his, doing his job, or whether it's Mark's absolutely incredible transformation after 14 years, whatever it is, it improves the quality of life. And it's just incredible to hear the stories here. I do want to stress again that this technology is not a treatment or cure for any disease or medical condition. We're not claiming that at all. It simply gives your body a resource. What your body's going to do with it is up to you. How Todd's body is going to use these signaling molecules is different to how Mark's body is going to use these molecules, et cetera, et cetera. And so I want to make very, very clear that we are not making any medical claims for this technology whatsoever. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Kirk, Doug, Todd.
Thank you for having us.
Really appreciate you joining us
so
on the
much.
call here today.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys. I'm going to ask you all just to mute yourselves, and I'm going to wrap up the end of this call. Actually, I'm just doing it for you. There you go.